everybody. Books, 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 books. I don't know, other than kids and gardening, I don't know if there's anything I love more than my books. And so I thought I'd do a little something different this time. And in this video, I wanted to share my favorite books from 2025 and some of my picks from 2026. And I hope maybe we can talk in the comments and give each other suggestions and come up with a great list for us for this coming year. I don't know about you guys, but the experience of holding the book in my hand and turning the pages and getting lost in the story is such a magical thing when it comes to books, and I just love that so much. I'm Michelle, and this is Silver Colored Glasses. Welcome. On this channel, we talk about everything aging, seniorhood, traveling alone, living alone, and all the things that we love about entering this new phase of our lives. So 2025 for me was a really good reading year. I read a lot more nonfiction than I normally do. I am a pure entertainment reader. So everything from, romances to mysteries to stories about witches and magic is something that I just go for. So one of the books that I read this year, one of my favorite books, was called Reminders of Him, and this is a romance, but it's also a tragedy in terms of dealing with a young couple who gets in a car accident and what unravels from that, and how that tragedy ripples through the family. And then it's also a redemption story. Another book I read this year that has really stayed with me, I think about it often this year, is a nonfiction book called Being Mortal, and it's by Atul Gawande. I hope I'm saying that correctly, but this book was given to me by my sister, who wanted me to read it so that we could be sort of on the same page in terms of addressing the next phase of life for our aging parents. They're both in their 80s, and they lived in a family home that we have all shared. My great-grandparents built it years and years ago, 100 years ago. And the house is beautiful, and it's well-loved, but it has multiple levels and lots of stairs, and they're just not at a point where they can take care of it any longer. It has a big yard, lots of upkeep for an older home, and they just really needed to were wanting to get into something that was easier for them to live in and take care of. And so that was a sad phase for us, and sad for them as well, almost like a grieving process that they were going through. And this book addresses how to help your parents or aging people that you're caring for or that you love through that process. And one of the author's biggest points is that you have to allow the people that it's affecting make those decisions for themselves. And as hard as that sometimes is, you can support them and help walk them through that process, but asking very specific, pertinent questions to them about how they want their lives to look like a year from now, 5 years from now. What would be the best thing if they could design it for themselves, and then help them walk through that process in terms of decision making. And boy, it was a hard book to get through, but certainly has helped. My sister and I helped support our parents. They have now moved into a one-level apartment where they are extremely happy. It's a new apartment complex. It's ADA approved for them, just in case they need that going forward. Their parking spot is right outside their door, and so much safer for them, much less upkeep, and they're really feeling much more settled and able to care for themselves going forward as they continue to age. And so we feel better about it because they're safer and not having to go up and down those stairs all the time and care for that big house. And so this book was extremely helpful to us, and I would certainly recommend it to anybody going through that phase in your life. Okay, my second favorite book of the year was called The 5-Star Weekend, and that's by Erin Hilderbrand. And she's a new author not a new author. She's a new author to me, and I have several of her books here on my bookcase that I want to read for 2026. But I loved this book. It was a great summer read, and it was another page turner, lots of twists and turns to this one as well. And just really, really loved Erin's writing. A very quick book to read, but very enjoyable. This book is about a woman who loses her husband very tragically in a plane crash, and what her life looks like going forward in dealing with a grieving daughter and her grief as well. And she's also a social media influencer, and she has what she feels like a responsibility to her followers, and how she gets herself through that first phase of grief, and then what that is like for her moving on. She schedules for her followers a contest where some of her followers can win this 5-star weekend at her cottage on Nantucket. And it's the book is about that weekend for all of them. It's sort of a life-changing bonding, friendship, supporting kind of a book. And however, there's a great twist to the whole story, and how she navigates herself through that. And really it's a book about not only grief, but about finding herself afterwards, and sort of reinventing herself as an aging female sort of heroine in the book. So I love this book. Again, it was a page turner. Great summer read. Another one that I really enjoyed was Before She Disappeared, and that's by Lisa Gardner. Lisa is one of my favorite authors as well. She does a lot of mysteries. And in this story, there's a character named Frankie who is a self-taught missing persons advocate and finder of missing persons. And it goes through her past, and then into current time, where she is called on scene to find a missing girl that has vanished from the town. And she falls in love with the family of this girl, and she really wants to help them badly. And how she goes through finding clues and investigating and working with local law enforcement to find the girl. Really riveting, lots of twists and turns, and really love this story. So I think you'll like it too. My favorite book of the year, these are in no specific order, but my favorite book of the year, and I know I'm a little bit behind the times, and I have a hard copy of this one, is Verity, and it's also by Colleen Hoover. And Verity, if you haven't read it, is a story about a couple who the husband is a physician and the wife is a famous author. And they go through several tragedies back to back to back, and how that all unravels. But the theme of the story is that the husband wants to hire somebody to finish his wife's manuscripts that were left unwritten. She is now left incapacitated. She cannot talk, she cannot move. He cares for her, and he really wants to have someone finish her life works. And so that's what this story is about. It is certainly a mystery, lots and twists and turns. I never knew exactly what was happening in the story and who was the villain and who was not the villain, and it was just riveting. I could not put this book down. This book is also being made into a movie this year that's coming out with Anne Hathaway and Dakota Fanning, and his first name is Josh. Can't remember the last name. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie as well. But oh boy, couldn't put this one down. A new thing that I ventured into this year of reading some celebrity memoirs that I hadn't read before, and I really enjoyed them. I am a 70s and 80s girl, Gen Xer, and one of the popular celebrity groups in my time after the movie called St. Elmo's Fire came out was a group of celebrities that were known as the Brat Pack, and it became a negative connotation for them and about them. But one of the members of that group, Andrew McCarthy, wrote a book this past couple of years, and it's called Brat. And I read that one. I really enjoyed that one. Lots and lots of backstage information about movie making and how he made the connections that he did and how he forged his acting career and what happened after the whole fallout from what they termed those kids as being the Brat Pack, which means that they felt like they were very entitled and just got things handed to them without any real talent, which wasn't true. But that's how it sort of came about, and how his career faltered for a little while and how he rebuilt it after that. So I thought that was a really fun read. I read Demi Moore's book, memoir that came out, and I also read Leslie Jordan's memoir that he wrote before he passed away called How Y'all Doing? And that was a term that he came up with during the pandemic, and he was really a lifesaver to me during the pandemic in terms of just somebody that connected with people during that time. He used his humor. He would check in with everybody, and just a very funny, kind, gentle, just authentic man who I'm sure will be sorely missed by his family, and also for those of us that really loved him and his talent. And I really enjoyed that book as well. And then the one that surprised me, and this one sort of just fell into my hands, but it was by Jessica Simpson, and it's called Open Book. And I ended up really loving this book. I went back to it a couple of times to see what she had said about certain situations, but lots and lots, not only about her life and how her career developed and how her family was involved in that, and her father was her manager, and how that all came to be. She's certainly much younger than I am, but we loved her reality show that she had with her husband at the time, Nick Lachey. And I remember watching that when it first came on, and really enjoyed it. What I loved about this book is that she's just very vulnerable and very raw about feeling like she couldn't keep up, and she couldn't live up to the standards and the expectations in the business, but lots of stories about behind the scenes stories about other celebrities and how she developed those relationships, and her sister who also became a very talented singer as well, and what that family dynamic looked like from going to a very middle class family to having two very talented daughters, and how that just exploded and how that affected her life going forward. So it was a surprise, but I really enjoyed that book as well. So just a couple of honorable mentions for 2025. Okay, so picks for 2026 that I'm hoping to read that I have on my list. The first one is called Paper Palace, and this is a book by Miranda Cowley Heller. And this is set in a house in Cape Cod. And it is a story, they say, about having to choose between family and a old lover. And it is about second chances, and do you make that choice? It's about some family betrayal and how that affects the family and how that ripples through the family as well. Sounded like a great read. So that's my number one. The Savage Noble Death of Babs Dion by Ron Curry. This book, I was told, is about a 60th woman who is born into a mob family. And through some deaths in the family, she is asked now to take over as mob boss in this family. And so it is a mystery. It's about an older woman who completely upends her life and takes on this new role. And it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be, about a strong female lead, family commitment, loyalty, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that book as well. The Homefront by Kristen Hanna. This has been on my list for all of last year. Didn't get to it. now on this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. Kristen Hanna, I read a couple of her books, and you know, they're just, oh gosh, they just take so much out of me because they're so heart-wrenching and so lovely. But I really have to be ready to read those emotionally, and so I'm really looking forward to this book. This book is set, it's a historical fiction book, and it's about a defense attorney and a guard helicopter pilot wife who ends up being deployed to Iraq, and the book explores the challenges of marriage, loyal courage, and dedication, it says. So I'm really looking forward to that one. What else? Looking at my notes. I also made a goal this year to really seek out some books that are more set with senior characters, anything over 50 maybe, in terms of things that I can relate to. I'm not so much into the young adult themes anymore. Not that I won't read them, for sure, but certainly really seeking out some books. And one of those books that kept coming up is called The Retirement Plan, and this is about several women that live with their husbands in a nursing home. And one of the fellows passes away, one of the men passes away, and the money that he leaves his wife, she uses to develop a whole brand new life of travel and experiences. And the other wives in the retirement home see this happening and are jealous of this and envious of it. And so they come up with their own plan to maybe move along their own retirement plans with their husbands. And so, but what we find out is later on, the husbands have their own plan. And so it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be, you know, a little bit of mystery involved. And I'm really looking forward to that one. That one is by Sue Hinsengers. I'm sorry, I know I'm not pronouncing that right. It's Hincengerge. And I haven't read any books by this author, but I'm really looking forward to it. It says lots of hijinks and fun. Okay, next book. This is, I'm something really excited for. This is called The Midnight Library. And this book is by Matt Haig, and I've been wanting to read some books of his. This book is about a woman who, I think she passes away, and then she's sort of caught in between life and death in that spectrum space. And she's given the opportunity to go to what they call the Midnight Library, and spend some time in evaluating her life and reviewing her life. And one of the choices that she's given is that she can go back in time and revisit some of the major times in her life where she made a big choice. And she could have taken this road or she could have taken that path, and she made a decision there. And she can choose to change those choices, knowing that if she does, then it changes the whole trajectory of her life. And it's about second chances. It's about choices that we make in our lives and how those not only affect ourselves, but also the people around us. And I just thought this would be a really interesting book to read. So Matt Haig's Midnight Library. I think this is going to be one of my first ones in 2026. Okay, and the next book that I'm looking forward to is Rachel Hanna's Seagrove, and it's the first, this special edition holds through the first 3 books in her series, which is the South Carolina Sunset series. Romances, it says, and again, I'm a sucker for any kind of water, ocean type series, and so I'm really looking forward to this. But look at this book for just a minute. Isn't it beautiful on the outside? But even without the book cover, look at this book. Isn't it beautiful? And then look, absolutely gorgeous. So love, love, love. And I also got along with it she enclosed a Southern pound cake recipe card, some really cute stickers that goes with it, and a bookmark. Oh, upside down. So very, very cute, and I'm really looking forward to reading that series. And then after these 3 books in this special edition, then I'll have to get the rest of the books for that. Okay, looking at my notes some more. Oh, this next one, Sunrise of the Reaping, on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is a prequel to the series called The Hunger Games. If you haven't read that, I would really encourage you to do that. It was really exciting, nail biter kind of a series. And this is a prequel to that. And if you're familiar with the series, this book goes over the life of Hamish, who eventually grows up and becomes a mentor for the kids that are volunteered into participation into the games. And so it goes back and talks about his growing up years and his life, and I've heard that it's a real tearjerker. But really excited to read this book. I've loved this whole series, and this book in particular will have a new movie coming out. I think it's in 2026. So my daughter and I have been huge fans of this whole series, and hopefully we can read the book before we go to the movie and have fun watching it. Let's see. Remarkable Bright Creatures by Shelby. This is a book about a 70-ish-year-old female, it says, who works in an aquarium, and it says that it's about loneliness, but it's also about building relationships and sort of creating your own family if you don't have relatives close to you. In this book, she works at an aquarium, and she builds a special relationship with one of the sea creatures that she works with, one of the octopuses in octopi in the aquarium that she works in. And I've just heard it's a really magical, beautiful, wonderful book, so I'm really excited to get started on that one. The Cupcake Killers. This is by Leanne Dobbs. This book is about some senior ladies that end up getting mixed up in some local murders, and they become little sleuths working together trying to solve these murders and working with the detectives. So I thought that would be a fun book to read. It says it's a slow burn romance and a murder mystery. Can't wait. And Snowfall and Secrets by Kimmy Loth. This one is about a young woman who gets pregnant after a one-night stand and moves to Michigan to start a new life. And it just, the book cover just looks so cozy, and it'll be a great winter read, I think. So I'm looking forward to that one. What else? Oh, Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. This is a book. I've been wanting to read some of Kate Quinn's books, and so I'm looking forward to this one. This is a historical novel, it says, and it's based on some true events. It's set in Russia, and the heroine is named Mila, who is befriended by Eleanor Roosevelt. So that one might be interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. Let's see. The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, H-O-B-B. This is the first book in a trilogy, and the trilogy is called Farsi Trilogy. It says it's an epic fantasy novel, and it's been told that this book is sort of created and seems and looks like the character that Kit Harington played in the Game of Thrones series. Where he was an illegitimate child born into a royal family or a famous family, and this character is trained to be the assassin's assistant, a sort of step in, and it talks a lot about family loyalty, dedication, and seemed like it might be a really good mystery, epic kind of a novel. This is going to be, I'm hoping, one of my favorites for the year. It's called The Shift by Beth O'Leary. This one is based on, or is about a grandmother and a granddaughter who decide to switch houses and sort of live each other's lives for a little while. And it's about choices again. There's a little bit of a romance, I've been told. And I really like that theme of switching places. One of my favorite movies for the holidays is called The Holiday, and it's with Kate Winslet and, oh gosh, can't think of her name. Anyways, and they switch lives, and it's just a lovely film. So I think this will be something similar along those lines. And then the last one, I'm a little bit behind the ball, but I don't know if any of you have seen or have read this novel called The Shell Seekers. It's by Rosamund Pilcher. And this is a book about family, it says, family dynamics, and it's about a young woman who comes across a painting that her grandfather did years and years ago, and has sort of a dilemma about whether or not to keep the painting in the family or to sell it, and they just said it's about redemption and about family and loyalty in the family. So I thought that would be a lovely one to try to read too. And then again, I have some Ellen Hildebrand novels that I wanted to get to as well. So lots of fun, I think, picks for 2026. Please let me know in the comments below what you are choosing to watch for this coming year too. Something very different for the channel, but it was really fun to make the list, to really think about what I wanted to read for this coming year. I hope that some of these might inspire you to pick them up as well. Please let me know if you do and what your thoughts were around them, or if you've already read them, let me know what your reviews are on them too. And thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.